Dove Cameron, thank you so much for coming in. It is so nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me.
I actually learned a new fact about you this week that I didn't know previously.
Okay.
I was on a walk with my girlfriend, one of our best friends.
Yeah.
And the email came through to my phone that you were coming in today. And so I was pretty excited. I let them know about it. And our friend was like, Dove Cameron was in the most incredible show choir I've ever seen in my entire life.
I can't believe you're talking to me about this while we're in Burbank.
I got talked to about it like for an hour straight.
You are. This is my favorite thing that you're mentioning right now. Because I just stopped in a juice spot before I got here because we had like 15 minutes, and I was like, I need a fucking juice. I learned that I had low blood sugar not that long ago, and it
Really?
changed my life.
So how did, don't mean to get off track, but how did you learn that? Because I feel like I'm due for a doctor appointment and I'm pushing it off, and I feel like that's where you learn the key info that I would never know.
At the doctor's?
Yeah.
He's like, that's how you learn about your body.
This doctor thing people are talking about.
This doctor thing, it's like really hot right now. No, I was rehearsing for something, and I was like, wait, I have to sit down. I was dancing, and I was like, wait, I have to sit down. I got like really lightheaded and hot, and the choreographer was like dizzy, and I was like, yeah, like car sick, but we're not. And I was like, we're not spinning, so I don't know what's happening, and it's not hot in here. And she was like, have an apple juice, and I was like, I was like, I don't think you're listening to me. I was like, I just need to sit down, like I'm seeing spots. And she's like, have an apple juice, and I was like, why? And she's like, that sounds like low blood sugar. Had an apple juice.
Like that.
We were back, baby.
Apple juice is the cure, man. That's like my dream condition.
And now, yeah, right? And now I'm so crazy about it. Like I go everywhere with these little like blood sugar tablets, and every time I feel even a little weird for any reason, it's like a cure-all. I just don't go anywhere
Like
without a
immediately
fucking
that's the fix.
juice. It's crazy. And also my boyfriend, if I ever feel weird, he's like, do you want some apple juice? And I'm like, yeah, I really
Like
want
a belt
some
of apple juice underneath.
Strapped, always strapped. But anyway, I'm so sorry I have gum in my mouth. I
No,
shouldn't have done that.
you're good, man.
But we got here early, so we went to a juice place, and the girl behind the counter was like, oh, I went to Burroughs, you went to Burbank. Like, I visited the set of Liv and Maddie, and I was like, this is such a Burbank experience that, like, the person who's behind the counter, like, came to your set or went to your high school. Like, it is the smallest town.
It's interesting. Like I'm from Southern California, right? And when she was telling me about it, that you were in show choir, I was like, oh, cool. She was in show choir. She's like, no, this wasn't just show choir. This was like
It was crazy.
Burbank
town.
In Sync Prodigal 2012. I guess this is like one of the highest.
Prodigal 2012.
She said it was like the most regarded show choir that it got her into show choir. She said she was at that performance, saw your solo, and she was like, I'm getting into that.
I take great pride in this.
Really?
Yeah, I really, really fuck with show choir. It's so cool. It was my like introduction to, like, it sounds funny, but as like a 14, 15, when did I leave high school? I left it early, maybe 16. I can't remember. As a person in that range, I actually have like a full blur of the timeline of like from like 10 to 18. I don't know what happened. Even 19. Like only in my 20s have I been like, that was that
So
year.
real.
I don't know. But I remember being young and moving to California and hearing about show choir and thinking it was like,
Right.
like I was like, I don't know.
I don't know if that's for me.
Yeah, I was like, do they have a theater department? And then I understood very quickly that show choir was like, I mean, for Burbank and Burroughs, it was like bigger than any sporting team we had. It was like people were getting their tires slashed. It was mega competitive.
She was literally saying that because
Yeah.
I was in band in high school, so I kind of assumed that like show choir had a similar like I guess like view to it, you know? And she was like, no, this Burbank show choir, like
It was cutthroat.
Everyone wanted to be in it.
It was cutthroat, and it was also like difficult, like really truly difficult. Like the dancing and the music arrangements were truly challenging. And we would do these fundraisers every year that would raise money for the set. And I remember the year that we did Prodigal 2012.
Shout out
Prodigal 2012. The year that we did it, we had like blacklight effects. Like some of the other choirs had like pyrotechnics. Like these kids and these show choir creators go all fucking out.
No, I was blown away. We went back home and over dinner, we watched it through twice.
So
it's a 20-minute set.
It's hard.
Sat through the whole thing. I wanted to watch
We
it
had
that
like
second
flips
time.
and tricks. We had like magic shit, like where the girls
Yes.
appear out of nowhere.
There was a guy DJing in the back on like a
with a
full-on like
Skrillex
mix board.
remix.
Yes. With the black
was
lights and everything.
nuts.
And I was like, this is high school? She's
When
like,
it went-
that's what I'm saying.
When it went, like, yes, oh my God. And then
Yes.
we're all dancing to dubstep.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
Yeah, that was just incredible. And to see like the solo too, it was cool to see that side of you. Because it was something I just didn't know before.
It was also like truly theatrical. Like it's campy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, the only thing you need to know about me after or before that is that I'm a musical theater kid, and it's
I
like
love
it's
it.
right in the notch.
Yeah,
It's
and that was
very
like
musical
it
theater.
seemed like the elite place to be a theater kid. You know what I mean? Just like
I think it
that
must
show
have been.
choir was wild.
It was cool. It was cool. It was cool. It was bizarre. It's like something that I would still do now. Like if there's like an adult show choir league,
You'd be all about it.
I'd be like, guys, yeah, like an adult, like a I don't know. People have like baseball leagues, football leagues.
Yeah, I'm in an adult softball league. It's
Oh, you
kinda
really?
similar. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god, I'm literally talking to the
I
exact
won't give
person.
up on it. You know,
No,
you know,
I'm gonna
like,
start an
it's
adult-
underhand. It's not really impressive, but like for me, I take it like it's the Olympics.
It's community.
Yeah,
my
exactly.
boyfriend's in like his own little European football league
Is
back
he
in
really?
Rome, and it's the most beautiful thing to me.
That is so cool. I love that.
Yeah, I've only been to one game because he actually was like really shy about it at first, and
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, babe, I need to see you in your jersey
No.
and your shorts. And he was like, no, like it's boring. You don't want to come. I was like, I will be out there in 0-degree weather wearing.
There to support.
I am there. And then so I finally drove like way the fuck out. It was like a 2-hour drive like out of town. And they really play. They play like rival teams. It gets heated. There's a goalie. Like it's goalie. there are multiple goalies. There's a ref. It's been a long day. And it's like really legit, and I thought it was so cool. Like I was transfixed. I brought like a magazine just in case, didn't read it. Like it's beautiful.
That's so funny you say that, because similarly, like I don't want to seem like the guy who just won't give up on his high school sport, you know? So I was like reluctant to tell my girlfriend about it. And once she found out, she's like, "No, I'm going to every game."
Oh my
And I was
god.
like, that's insane to me. Why? This means nothing.
No,
You know?
it's darling
It's
and
so
it's
cute.
beautiful and it's
Yeah.
community. I love it.
So let's come back to you now. Let's talk about the music. It feels to me like Too Much is blowing up on TikTok. I feel like it's blowing up everywhere. Does it feel like it's blowing up to you?
You know, it's funny. I feel like, first of all, I was really shocked to see the response for Too Much, because I really stepped away from the music scene for quite a while. Mostly just because I wasn't confident that I really had anything to say. Like I kind of wasn't writing. I wasn't inspired. And then when I wrote this album that's going to be coming out this year, I really had a lot to say, probably for the first time since I started writing music ever. And Too Much was something that we wrote kind of near the end of the album, like at the 75% mark. And it was like a concept I'd had in my little like concept journal for a long time, like Too Much. And I always knew what I wanted it to be. I didn't know if we were going to be able to get it there, et cetera, et cetera. And after we were done with it, it was just so fun. And it was so like empowering and self-focused, and it was so danceable and all of these things. I was like, I felt that it was a good first single, but I didn't feel that it was going to do what it's been doing, which is like very, very fucking cool. Honestly, we didn't even film a music video. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was like kind of the same thing as I always do. I'm just kind of like, I like this song and upload.
No, it's a banger. Like it
Thanks.
makes you want to like excuse me, when I hear like I want to go to the dance floor and I want to deliberately be too much. You know what I
Right?
mean? Like I just want to go out there and fully send it there.
You heard it here first.
For real.
It's our first song in our show choir set. in our off-duty show choir set.
As long as the moves aren't that hard, because I saw you guys were pulling in that show choir, and I was like, I don't know if I could remember 20 minutes of choreo like that.
Girl,
That
it's
was
honestly
next level.
it's a lot. It's next level, but I think also like it made me who I am.
true that.
But yeah, it's been great. I mean, I kind of like, it's interesting because I had Boyfriend. Boyfriend did blow up because of TikTok, and that's still kind of hard for me to conceptualize because I really wasn't a person who used TikTok. I honestly put it up on TikTok only because the label was like, everyone has to put music
These
on
days, yeah.
TikTok. So my sort of like view of what a song blowing up means is like forever skewed, because Boyfriend was like this crazy, it was like an undertow that took over my life for so long. And so I've kind of like, with Too Much, I just really had no expectation.
So you didn't want to match Boyfriend. You didn't have that in mind as a goal. Like you kind of just went out
No.
with what you wanted to put out.
I know that Boyfriend was like a once in a lifetime reaction, and so I'm never ever trying to mimic anything like that. Also, it's for my own mental health. Like, let's be honest, we can't be expecting that every time we put anything out. And Too Much, honestly, was something that I like. I mean, but again, like when Boyfriend came out, I was like, I like it. Like everything I write, I'm gonna like, but I have zero expectations every time I release. So it's been really nice. It's been really nice to hear the support. It's been really nice to hear it on the radio randomly. It's been really nice to feel the support from iHeart, everybody. Like, it's been great.
So can you give us a little bit of a background on where you were when you wrote it, like how it came about?
Yeah. So I was at the point in making the album that I'd really found my creative partners. Like I'd found my absolutely lovely producer, Tyler, who did most of the record. Madison Love, Victoria Zaro, like my co-writers who it was like summer camp. Like at this point we were just having fun. And we'd already kind of written like the major pillars of the record where we were like check, 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 this. And we had found the sound. I had sort of embraced dance at this point, and so I was like, okay, fuck it, let's make like a full send pop song. And like I said, I had the concept already for quite some time, and we were just like giggling to ourselves, lots of coffee, lots of sandwiches, and we were like, how can we make this wordplay like so delicious, so funny, so stupid? And I had started doing this kind of like Eartha Kitt-esque voice that was like this double identity on a lot of the records. There's like too much puffing up your chest. Like I know that a lot of people think it's an effect, but it's just me doing a stupid.
Really, I was wondering about that. Yeah.
It's just me doing a stupid voice that we thought was like quite funny because to me it translates as this kind of like cartoonish, like eye rolly persona that's
mocking the people who are chirping all the time.
it's also just silly. Like I have another song, I have a couple songs where that voice comes out because I really wanted to sing for real on this record, which I've never done. I've truly never used my full voice in any of my music.
Why do you think that is?
I think I didn't like my tone.
Really?
Yeah, I think I had sort of categorized it as like a musical theater tone. And I was like, it's too intense for pop music. And my boyfriend and my best friend Veronica were always like, you're so stupid. Like, why aren't you singing?
You own it, yeah.
Yeah, they were just like, it's not too intense. I was like, it is too intense. And so I just started experimenting with it. And I wanted to be able to do that while also not doing it the whole time. And so I sort of came up with these two vocal modes that were like very belty, very full, very, energized and full of like texture. And then this sort of like softer, more silly, more campy thing that just sort of balanced it and gave it like a sort of a different identity and sound. So yeah, honestly, Too Much was just like something I'd wanted to write for quite some time. We were just fucking around and just like voguing and having so much fun.
I love that it feels like authentic to you right now. I feel like, is this whole next chapter of music like that?
Yes. I also realized you asked me like, what's the song about and where did it come from? And I was like, we having so much fun. I would say that Too Much finally came about because, like, to answer both of your questions at the same time, Too Much finally came about because it was something I'd been processing over the course of many years, and then I finally had like a healthy partnership and relationship, and I was able to look back at the others and be like, oh, like it's like you don't know until you know. You don't know the reality, the full reality of something until you're truly in love in like a very healthy, grounded, real human way, and then you look back and you can sort of see, as you pull out, you can sort of see things for what they were in past relationships. And this was like a huge theme for me, was being too much for someone, not even like in a way that they would really let me know, but just in a way that they were constantly attempting to like chip away.
Like you couldn't be you.
They were constantly trying to chip away at my self-image or make me feel that I had to be smaller to feel safe, be loved, be liked, anything like that. That there was something inherently wrong with me, right?
So was there anything you did to get to that turning point where you were like, I'm going to stop like diminishing myself for whatever perception I think people are going to have of me?
Yeah, I think I really hit a wall with it. Like I really hit a wall with it where I was so miserable. Like not to be like wah wah, but truly I was
You get there, yeah. There's
a
turning point always.
You have those dark nights of the soul where you really realize that like maybe you can't go. It's like if you want to evolve further, this thing can't come with you. And I couldn't face it anymore. This idea that like I had to constantly change in order to be accepted, safe, and loved. I was super lost in it, and it was like the color of the majority of my life until like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. And it was driving me crazy. Like it would wake me up at night. Like it was multifaceted as well. It wasn't just about relationships. It was really this issue that I was having with myself. And I finally, through a series of like shitty events, just got so heartbroken, so sad, so mad, so angry at all the time wasted, and just kind of brazenly abandoned it. And I was able to process a lot of stuff when I was on my own. Like I really walked away from music for about a year. I know it feels like longer, but it was really about a year. And and I worked when I had to, and then like stayed home, saw no one, like literally like Howard Hughes. Like I didn't come out of my house. And I worked really hard and diligently on healing my self-concept and healing my relationship with myself, and revisiting things that I'd never really had time to revisit. And then I met my partner, who is the healthiest, most lovely, kind, accepting, non-judgmental, supportive, beautiful person I have ever met. And slowly, as we were together for longer, I realized that he had like seen more of me than anyone and was still like right there. And I had to sort of re-examine all of the things that I thought were wrong with me and be like, oh, these are actually lovable things. These are acceptable things. I was sort of living like they weren't, or living like I had to, change or alter myself at all times. And just he was so instrumental for me in healing how I viewed myself. Like I already started doing that work before I met him, but then he was like the confirmation.
They say, what is it? Like to be loved is to be seen, or something like that. And I feel like when someone sees you, like there's just a different level of acceptance, I think.
Yes, totally. I also think like, I don't know, we just had that relationship from the very start. Like we never felt like strangers once we truly started dating. And just sort of, we processed a lot in the first 2 months of being together, which is weird, but like we dove in right away. And there were so many things that he had to re-examine and sort of like learn to accept about himself, just like me. And it's just everything beautiful that you hope started to happen.
It almost feels like you guys maybe inspired each other, because I feel like both of you are on this similar music journey right now. He just released his, or at least the track list for his album.
Yeah.
And so you guys are kind of coming out with music at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you did inspire each other to have this whole new era of music?
Yeah, I mean, when he came to LA, he and I, it was a very weird coincidence. Like me and my friends were always talking about that. We were like, when in the world we were writing our album at the exact same time, which is, I've never heard of it. Like, I'm sure it's happened before, but we were writing. I went from January to June. He might have gone from January to July. Like, he might have done one more month than me. I don't know. But we were on the same, like, clock rotation, which was weird because it was, like, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, never ever stop. And then, like, on the weekend, you maybe, like, I don't know, you cook and watch movies.
Something to regain yourself.
Yeah. But I think a lot of the album, both of our albums, I know what's on both of our track lists. So like I can very confidently say that like, yes, a lot of my album is about him, a lot of his album is about me. But also it's funny because we met at a time when like we were both still processing old stuff. So there's a lot of both of our there's a lot of both of our albums that are about past relationships. And I think the funny thing is that like it never felt like, we're both songwriters, so it was always just kind of like, oh, that's a great way to say that, babe. Or like I know he knows who I'm talking about, etc. You know what I mean? Like
you're open with each other. Yeah, you don't really have to like hide the feelings.
No, and everything is valid, right? So definitely a lot of both of our albums have been inspired by the other, but also I think a lot of it is, they're both our own.
So you guys would you write with each other at times?
No, never.
Really? That's a separate thing. So what do you know, like how do you keep that separate? You know what I mean? Like how do you share so much with each other with the music, but know when you have to do something individually?
Well, honestly, it's easy to keep it separate because we both just go to separate studios. It's like it's
physically separate.
It's not very hard. Like we were both at very different locations all the time. And then like once we get past the sort of nervousness of like, do you like this song? Like we were both just like, hey, listen to this thing I wrote today. Never gave any notes. Like never, no, never overstepped in that way. I think the closest we ever came to that was like, do you think this song is stronger than this one? And like, that's it. Like, yeah, that was it. But it was beautiful. It was beautiful to like share that process.
So when it comes to your album that's coming up, how would you describe this like new era of music for yourself?
I would say, I mean, this new era of music is the most truthful, most like I just feel and hear my energy in this album not more than Boyfriend, because truly like I live and I stand by Boyfriend. I think it's a banger, but more than any body of work, and also it's including film and TV, right? Like there's this sort of like an energetic signature on this album that is, I'm very proud of, and I'm gonna be proud of it forever. Like, I really stand on this being technically my debut album, even though we had a part 1 that really is more of an EP at this point.
So is this not part 2?
No.
Okay, good to know.
It's an entirely complete.
Did you go in
solo.
wanting part 2?
Yeah.
Volume 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I went in to write volume 2 to get it out like really soon, and then my life just was so different, and I got on this writing tear, and I was writing things that I never anticipated writing. Really? Yeah. My style, my sound, my writing style, my energy around it just did a complete 180, and I was like, this isn't the same project anymore. And I think that that's like an interesting thing to navigate for writers, for musicians, for artists, because you start a movie, you play the character, you end the movie,
And then it's over.
and then it's over, and a director's helping you do it. Whereas music is so personal that, like, if I were to put any of these tracks on Alchemical Volume 2 and call it an album and put a bow around it, A, it wouldn't sound cohesive, and then also B, I would have to write however many more songs to complete the next album and make everyone wait a year or a year and a half.
So we're getting more songs sooner because you're doing this. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
figured it was a better option. Also, it really tells more of a story. You're getting more songs sooner, and it is a complete chapter rather than like a cannibalization of taking things from different places and putting them where they don't really fit.
Well, I'm so excited to hear that album when it comes out. But I also want to make sure we give Too Much its like breathing room, because right now, like, I'm loving that song.
Thank you.
Cannot wait to go out and hear it.
Thank you.
And again, thank you so much for coming by today.
Thanks for coming in.
Cameron, thank you.
You're so lovely. You're so nice to talk
Keep
to.
it going. Keep it going. Hold on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm like, are the cameras are off? You were awful.
I know. I hear that a lot.